Hello everyone! Welcome on my website soulunion.com. It's such a joy to have you here. I want to share with you today my perspective about twin flame connections and also about sacred relationships, divine partnerships, and the template of sacred union. And also we'll talk about twin flames, soulmates, wholemates, and everything that is connected with this. Also, it's time for me, after 6 years on this path, to talk more about my personal connection with my twin flame and also to bring more forward to you my experience with this, and also how can we deal with being on the spiritual path and at the same time living a life in 3D. And I'm going to share from my experience. It's not from books, it's not from something I heard from someone else. There are also a lot of informations out there about the subject, so my recommendation to you would be to take a step back in everything you hear and bring the information to your body and keep only what suits you in this moment of your journey, because this is such a personal and intimate journey that no one can tell you how it is for you and how it should be for you. So it's just my personal experience and what I learned, because I learned a lot in this journey. So keep whatever it helps you, and whatever your higher guidance is telling you, it's also useful for you. So my journey starts 6 years ago when in 2014 I met my twin flame. We live from one part of the world to another. I'm in Eastern Europe, he is in South America. We met halfway, and in that moment started a journey for me that honestly 6 years ago I wouldn't have seen the point I am in this moment, and I couldn't have predicted the impact that meeting will have on my life. Everything changed in that moment in my life. I was married, and of course I couldn't support my marriage anymore. I couldn't. After I had the activation in the soul, in meeting my twin flame, my soul got activated into the truth and love. And when I came back into my life after having that activation, something wasn't fitting between who I discovered I am in my soul, in my essence, and how my life was looking like in that moment. So everything changed on the personal side, and also everything started to change on my mission side. I was working with people in that moment. I was a therapist, I'm still a therapist, but my way of working expanded so much in those 6 years, and it's mostly because of my connection with my twin flame, because I learned so many things through our connection. Then while learning them, I could bring them into my work with my clients, and I could help people more extensively on more layers of their being, more multi-dimensionally, and just from a different perspective, from a soul perspective, from a higher perspective. I could bring that higher perspective into my work more than I was doing it before meeting my twin flame. So a magical journey started in that moment, and I had to work with myself for 4 years so that I could be able to go in his country and live there for a while. I could stay for 6 months. I could live in the same town with him, and that was a big, big, big purging. That was a big spiritual initiation I received. And then I had to come back in my country, and in this moment we are still apart from each other. And apparently, with everything that happens in the world, with the pandemic and so on, it seems that some timelines are suspended, some timelines are closed, other timelines are getting open right now. It's a little bit chaotic, and honestly, we don't know what will happen for twin flames, especially for those who had big distances between them. So I want to share with you my perspective, and especially because I am asked, many people are asking me, so I'm in this process, on this twin flame path, and maybe we need some time to harmonize each other and to harmonize our energies so we can come more into union. So, and we don't know how much time we'll need. So, what am I going to do? Am I going to be alone for the rest of my life? What am I going to do? How is my life going to look like? So, and I know it's a very difficult process. How can we bring together the fact that the path of our soul is this, and on the same time that this connection cannot be sustained in this moment in a 3D life, and I know that's the case for many people in this moment on this planet. So how can we dance with those layers? How can we bring them together? Because what I've discovered, especially in this last year of my journey, this journey is not about suffering. It's not about constraining ourselves. It's not about being deprived of something. This journey is about love, and it's about discovering that love in all the aspects of love. It is about experimenting everything that brings us joy in this world. So I feel is the moment on the collective level to expand our view about what this whole journey is about, because I think we're coming into a time of manifesting on this earth sacred relationships and divine connections, and the divine template of sacred union between masculine and feminine inside ourselves and outside ourselves. And honestly, I think we need to embody that and to let go of everything that seemed to be impossible in our lives, in our 3D lives, and to let go of this pattern of the love that seems to be impossible on earth, and just to embody love, and then we will attract something on that frequency. And this is what I want to share with you today. The twin flame journey doesn't have to constrict us from anything, and it doesn't come in contradiction having a twin flame and not being able to have a relationship, and being in a relationship with a soulmate or a wholemate, or it's part of the same journey, as long as we stay in integrity, and as long as we stay in truth, and as long as we stay with our heart open. I mean, we need to start embodying those sacred relationships, and this is what I feel starts to happen on earth. And sometimes it just, the label doesn't matter anymore, whether it's a twin flame or a soulmate or another type of connection. It's just about embodying this template on earth. It doesn't matter the label anymore. So from what I've seen and from what I've learned and from what I lived in my personal journey, there are some reasons why twin flames don't manage to be together, or didn't manage to be together up until this point on the planet. So, from my experience, there are a few very, very important things. First of all, the huge polarity between um, the in the twin flame connection between the two souls that are called twin flames. Um, there is a big polarity, and sometimes, for example, in my case, there is a huge distance from one end of the world to another. Also, we're polarized in terms of mission. I'm a spiritual healer. He works more into organizational stuff. So this huge polarity here in 3D sometimes needs time to harmonize, and sometimes needs a lot of commitment to move beyond that polarity, because of course there is no separation, and of course polarity sometimes is just an illusion, because at the level of the soul it's not about polarity, it's about the union, and it's about harmonizing that polarities into a place of balance and of union. It is about making space in our being for, if I am at the end of one polarity, I need to make space in my being for the other end of the polarity, so that those two polarities can harmonize in my being. And I need to let that thing come together in me. And this is the union, basically. This is the process of union means. But sometimes bringing polarities together can be extremely challenging in 3D. And sometimes it comes with a sense of losing your own identity, that sometimes it's so hard for our ego to let go, that we just feel that we're going crazy, and it takes a lot of commitment and a lot of power to hold this process in a safe way, this process of bringing polarities together. So this is one of the main challenges in twin flame connection, the big polarity. Also, I think there are some different stages sometimes in which the two of them find themselves in this 3D life, and there are different stages in terms of bringing together the personality and the soul. And sometimes one of them is more advanced into integrating the soul and the personality. The other one is more behind in terms of integrating the soul with the personality. And this difference sometimes shows off in the connection. And it is sometimes about synchronizing the stages we're in this life. And sometimes it's difficult, because of course that can be the biggest love in the soul, and twin flames always share the biggest love in the soul. There's nothing about, oh, my twin flame doesn't love me and he's a jerk, and there's nothing about that in the soul. It's just that we are in different stages in this dimension, and this is the sad thing about Earth. And at the same time, the sad and the beautiful thing about Earth, because we come here on a journey and we forget who we are, and sometimes this dimension is seducing us into forgetting who we really are, and we need time to bring together who we really are in our essence with the way we are expressing our essence in this dimension, and we need to integrate those layers. And the sad and the beautiful thing is that we need time in this dimension for this, and we cannot force it, we cannot make it happen sooner, we cannot do anything. Everything we can do is just to clear our old timelines, to clear our old traumas, and to clear everything that is keeping our soul disconnected from our personality, and everything that is keeping us polarized and not whole. So this is another aspect that I've seen. And also, I think, especially in those connections that involved a bigger puzzle, puzzle from one end of the world to another, as in my case, or I don't know, different um, big age differences, or different religions, or different social status, or everything that seems impossible in this dimension to bring together. There is also some collective stages that need to happen, and some collective energies that need to purge in order that this earth can become a planet able to hold this big um, this big energy that twin flame connection are enhancing, this big power that the twin flame connection has. And this power comes especially from polarity. When we bring two polarities together, that is true power. And somehow, maybe from now on, the collective will be ready more and more to be able to hold this kind of power, this kind of light, this kind of, um, of big polarities coming together. Until now, I felt many obstacles, and until now there were many obstacles also in the collective. And not talking about dark energies that are working against those connections, especially to test us and to help us to step more into our spiritual power. And twin flames are very tested, and it's also because we need to step into our commitments towards this into our commitment towards this path more and more. So it is a big journey. It is a big spiritual journey, and it's not going to end. It's once we are on this path, this is the path of our soul, and it is for the rest of our life. And it's something that I assumed. Um, I, I I said that this is going to be for a few years ago already. So we don't need to negotiate ourselves. This is the path. At the same time, this doesn't mean we are doomed to suffering, or to loneliness, or to separation, or to live fragmented. Or I think this is illusion. Because if there's one thing that this connection is teaching us, is that there is no separation, that we can be in union with ourselves, with our souls, with our oversoul, with our soul family, with our monad, and higher and higher, and that this is actually the final purpose of this connection. It's not so much about romantic connection, even if sometimes this is important also. But the more we cling towards a romantic outcome, the more we repel the other person, or the more we repel the truth of this connection. So when we cling to this, is the best way to reject it at the same time, because clinging comes from fear, and fear is not love, and twin flame connection is all about love. No matter how frustrating it is sometimes on the human level, no matter how hard it is, no matter how rejected we are, no matter how alone we feel in this journey, it is about love, and it is about embodying our higher self. It is about embodying our highest version, and it is about sharing that with others in doing our mission. And if we are doing all these things, the personal side of our life will get sorted out at some point. And I want to give you hope, guys, in this moment, because things are supervised by our guides, by all the help we have available in this world, in this universe, in this higher worlds, in everywhere. So we just need to be in truth. We just need to be aligned with ourselves, with our truth, and we just need to discover what our mission is and to do that in this world. And from this point, our personal life, the relationship, the joy, the relationships with others, the joy we have in our life, everything will get aligned. And we can find opportunities to enjoy life in everything, and we can find that we can be in another relationship with soulmates, with wholemates. For example, I encountered this term of wholemate, that is a different frequency from twin flame, but at the same time something very similar, and it's someone who shares the same template of the soul with you. And that's why it feels right to be with that person, even if you are on a twin flame path. And this is why it's happening with me in this moment after 6 years of being in a twin flame path and being 150% committed to that. And of course, when you are committed to this level and you don't see anything around, and you just put energy into this and put more energy into this, and you try to see that the other person to make the other person to see the things the same, all you obtain sometimes it's just struggle, and you need to take a step back and to let go, because when you are committed 150%, the other person will mirror to you zero commitment. So that means you need to go into balance with the parts of yourself where you're clinging to the other person, with the parts of yourself where you think that your life is finished if you're not going to be with that person. This is codependency. That comes from trauma. This comes from our wounds. This has nothing to do with love. So after 6 years of struggling on my personal life, what happens in this moment is that I'm receiving in my life a wholemate in this moment. It's someone that has a similar frequency with me. It has a similar path as a healer, and that has the same template of divine union, sacred partnership, and it has the same commitment towards embodying that on earth as I do. So in this moment, on the planet, we just need to embody that. There is very big need for couples, conscious couples, that are embodying this sacred template. It doesn't matter if we are twin flames or not. In the end, it matters that we have the commitment towards bringing this template on earth. And as long as we are aligned with our souls, as long as we are in the truth, as long as we are with the cards on our table, as long as we are honest with each other, as long as we have the intention to serve from our highest self, we can be in a relationship with someone else. And this is what I want to share with you today. It's possible. It is possible. So this journey, it's absolutely miraculous. And I'm going to talk in another video about what this template of sacred partnership means, because this is what we need to do in this moment. We need to let go of everything that is impossible. We need to let go of all the patterns that made these sacred partnerships and divine connections impossible in this dimension for us. And we need to enjoy life more, and we need to share with others what the union between masculine and feminine can bring into this world. This is what we need in this moment on the planet. So see you next time, and we'll talk about divine union and sacred partnerships and the template of conscious relationships on Earth. Bye.